Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Alif Novial Dino, and I'm in class A2 2022, and my student number is 22220073. And in here, I want to explain my research proposal. And the title is Teaching Speaking Contextual Dialogue Using Problem-Based Learning to Google Meet. Number one is the background of the research. Speaking is important for language learning beside the role it plays. Go 2007. Basically, in communication, students want to show their speaking skill in from of class when presentation or some occasion. To speaking, students express the ideas, feelings, and desire of the others, and in this case the student must study hard to master it, and the teacher should create a good atmosphere in class. However, it is contrary to the real situation in class. The student also thinks that learning English is less interesting. This is because the method of strategy that is used in student learning has focused on the teachers and put the listeners. Next, research question. A research question is answerable inquiry into a specific concept or issue. Here are some research questions. A. What are scenario and implementation of teaching speaking contextual knowledge using problem-based learning to Google Meet? B. What are student response to use Google Meet in learning speaking contextual knowledge? C. What are student difficult in learning speaking contextual knowledge to Google Meet using problem-based learning? D. What are teachers obstacle in speaking contextual knowledge to Google Meet using problem-based? And next is research objective. The objective of this research are to analyze the scenario and implementation of teaching speaking contextual dialogue using problem-based to Google Meet. B. Student response in learning speaking contextual dialogue using problem-based to Google Meet. C. Student difficult in use Google Meet in learning speaking contextual dialogue. And D. Teacher obstacle in teaching speaking contextual dialogue to Google Meet using problem-based learning. Next, in significance of the research. The significance of study will be used for the English teachers. The result of this research is expected to provide them with alternative technique to teach speaking. B. For research, the result of this research can develop their experience related to their knowledge in research on education and English teaching, especially for speaking. C. For the student, the result of this research is expected to give them new atmosphere and new experience in English learning, especially in learning speaking. Thus, they could be more motivated to develop their abilities. And the next is definition of the K-terms. A. Online learning is teaching that takes place over the internet. Is often referred as e-learning. However, online learning is a meaning distance learning online techniques to provide learning to students at a distance. B. Speaking in this research include about contextual knowledge and characteristic of contextual dialogue: 1. Turn taking, 2. Agency, pace and insertion, 3. Grounding, 4. Dialogue context, 5. In ellipsis. And C. Problem-based learning assisted by ACT with the following steps. Number 1 is student join Google Meets with teacher. Number 2, teacher give dialogue materials. Number 3, ask student to work in pairs. Number 4, student demonstrate spontaneous dialogue. Okay. And the next literature review. First, teacher opening Google Meets and get a new code for class. Second, teacher set a code for student in order student can join the class. Third, student input the code into the class. Advantage over flexibility. B. More individual attention. C. Teach student to be self-disciplined. And disadvantage: A. Internet connection. B. Limited device. And yeah. Number two, speaking skill contextual dialogue is a listen speaking for learners to dialogue. And characteristics of speaking skill is as follows: fluency, B accuracy, C grammar, and D vocabulary. Number three, problem-based learning, approach-based ICT. A problem-based learning is student-centered pedagogy in which students learn about a subject. And with the following steps, in one, student join Google Meet with teacher. Two, teacher give dialogues materials. Three, teachers ask student to work in pairs. Four, student demonstrate spontaneous dialogue. Next is method and research produce. Research produce that researchers do is as follow. One, prepare the dialogue with the 7th grade material, for example, greeting friends, teacher, or parents. And number two, implementation. In implementation, teacher asks students to work in pairs that spontaneously do the dialogue without any interrupt from other students, wherefore in the Google Meet, student can keep their microphone off. And number three, evaluation. In evaluation, teacher receives students' result. Afterward, teachers correcting their work with one to have the biggest in student speaking skill. And the next is participant of the research. Subject in the research are students 7th grade high school in Chimay. They were in the class 7C, that 36 students, 18 boys and 18 girls. And for the next is research instrument. Instrument of this research takes observation to know the learning process of speaking to Google Meet in problem-based learning. And number two, interview have fun function as a tool for rechecking the data with its research gun in collecting the data. Number three, documentation to provide the data as proving and detailed information. Research use documentation technique wherein is the technique research screenshotting while the process happen. The last is procedure of data analysis. When conducting the research, researchers should have a plan and schedule as procedure in this research because the research present the step or phase for this research below. And number one is preparation, number two is implementation, number three is evaluation.